Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're watching me from. I still remain your lead coach of seafood and foodstuff business, Personal Ventures. Pretty Latino, so easy. So today is day 3 of our coaching, seafood and foodstuff sourcing and procurement. Welcome to day 3. We'll be looking at seafood and foodstuffs sourcing and procurement. So that when someone say, I'm sourcing for this, I want to procure this, I want to source for this, you should be able to know what the person means. Okay? You should know the difference between sourcing and procurement. They are not the same. So on this day, you will learn that. So firstly, let's define the terms. Like I told us that they are not the same. So sourcing is a process of finding and selecting suppliers for the goods and services needed by an organization or individual. What does that mean? It means that before you could procure anything, you must first of all source for it. Okay? Before you buy anything, you have to source for it. So sourcing is now the process of finding and selecting suppliers. First of all, you have to find suppliers. Then you will now select suppliers. You will not just find suppliers and start sourcing. You will not just find suppliers and start procuring. You will not just find suppliers and start buying. You have to find the suppliers. I did not say supplier. You find suppliers, then you select among the suppliers you have found. You select from them, from the people that will be giving you value or giving your customers value. Okay, good. Now, procurement on its own is the process of obtaining those goods and services from those selected suppliers you must have sourced. Then, obtaining those goods and services, including negotiating prices and terms, placing of orders, and managing of delivery and payment. When you must have find the suppliers that sells that particular goods and services you needed, you select from them. After selecting the ones that will be giving you values, you now begin what? Procurement, by obtaining those goods and services through negotiating of prices and terms of conditions and placing of your orders. You place order, you pay. Before you make your payment, the terms and conditions there is it payment on delivery, or is it payment before delivery, or do we have installment payments, or how does it happen? Okay, who handles the delivery? Will you give deliveries details, shipment details, waybill details, like driver's not contacts or the waybill number? How does it happen? How do you do your delivery? How do you ask so many questions. This happens in what? Procurement. Okay, when you're trying to procure an item from a particular selected supplier, you have to know the prices. If they should tell you 40,000, you begin to negotiate. Can you sell 35? Can you sell 21? What is the term there? Is it payment on delivery? Is it payment that validates order? Who does the delivery? Will you give me driver's number or waybill number? Okay, these are the things that happens in the procurement. Then after negotiating and stuff like that, you place your order by listing the items you want. You go ahead to make your payment if it's payment before delivery, and that ends it. Okay, thank you. So let's get to the other slide. Slide 3. We don't really have much slides on this topic. Now, when sourcing and procuring seafood and foodstuffs, there are a few keywords or key factors or key points to consider. And these key factors includes price and costs. You cannot just source from a supplier of an item, buy, without price and cost. And price and cost are not just how much is this, 100,000, you pay, you move on. Okay? You would need to consider the cost of the goods as well as any additional costs like what? Shipping, handling, storage. Okay, let's use the term we understand. Any additional cost could be what? Way bill money. Okay? The handling in the sense that what happens on transit if the goods I paid for happen to get lost. How do we handle it? If this good got damaged along the road, what happens? How do we handle it? Okay, so these are the handling part of it. That before during this sourcing and procuring of food items, you must have to put these factors into consideration: price and cost. Okay, and this price and cost could mean considering the cost of the goods as well as any additional cost like webby money, handling. How do you handle it when it gets to what is the route you normally take in sending this webby to me? Let's say for instance your customer is in KB. How do you handle the delivery? What route does it go through? Sokoto to KB or Abuja to KB? Okay, and what if this good got missed or got lost or got missing, or like I don't understand? How do you handle this delivery? You have to ask these questions around it. Storage. Okay, let's say for instance you're buying to sell directly to your customer, like you don't drop ship, you have a physical shop. How do I handle these products? How do I secure these products? How do I keep or store these products so that it will not get bad, it will not spoil? These are the things you have to ask that your selected supplier that you want to procure these items from. Now, quality. It is important to make sure you are getting high quality products that meets your standard. For example, I personally ventures, I don't sell a substandard item. If I tell you I am selling any item for a particular price, if you begin to negotiate a funny price to me, I'll tell you, sir, I'm sorry, I have a standard. Sir, I'm sorry, my carton of fishes does not have head, and that's why it's of this price. Sorry, I sell any product of dried to export standard. If you understand, you have a standard. So that your selected supplier, before you could even select the supplier, that was why I said it must start from finding these suppliers. And when you must have found them, you select those that will give you value. Okay, this value now boils down to the words quality. Those of them that will be giving you quality items, high quality products that meets your standard. That shows that you must have had a laid down principle, a laid down standard. Your brand should have a standard already, a set standard already that you should be operating on, so that the suppliers that will be giving you such goods, such items. I hope this is very clear. You don't just wake up, the customer places order in your hand, you begin to scout for a supplier at that point in time. You must make mistake. Maybe a customer say, I need it, can you deliver this item in 2 to 3 days? You agree, yes, I can, sir. Yes, I can. Then, but you don't have any supplier that will give it to you. You begin to jump from pillar to post looking for a supplier that will give it to you. You end up making a mistake. One, you want to beat time. You want to sell. But once you have a supplier already standby, you know what they sell, you know the kind of product they sell, you already know how much. So when the customer comes, you already know how much to price to tell the customer you sell this item based on what your supplier will be giving to you. So this is it for this topic. I hope you are getting value, and if you have any question, do well to drop the question for me. Here are some other factors to also keep in mind. Sourcing and procurement, you can't overflog it, okay? There are some other factors you also have to keep in mind, such as sustainability, reliability, and safety. So when you talk about sustainability, first off, these products, they are sold all over the world. That means they are sourced from all over the world as well. In Ghana, in Togo, in Cameroon, in South Africa, in America, in UK, in Nigeria, everywhere, every part of the world, sourced for what? Seafood and food stuff. So what it means is that at some point in time, some vendors or some suppliers will not have items to sell, okay, based on what they sell, based on where they source their items, just things like that. So when you want to go into this seafood and food stuff business, you should be able to find suppliers, okay, that will be sustainable, in the sense that if you want rice, for instance, you already have a selected supplier that supplies stone-free, chaff-free, long-grain rice that meets your standard. You call the person today, the person answers and supplies. You call the person tomorrow, the person answers and supplies. You call the person next year, the person answers and supplies. You call the person in 20 years to come, the person answers and supplies. I hope this has clearly explained what I mean by sustainability. Not when you call me today, I will supply you rice. Then you call me next week, madam, sorry, I don't have, I'm out of stock. You call me another next month, madam, sorry, I have not restocked. Thank you. Now, reliability. You will need to find suppliers who are reliable and can consistently deliver the products to you on time and in good condition. Now I repeat, reliability. You will need to find suppliers who are reliable, okay, and are consistently can deliver this product to you in good condition and also what's on time. So many suppliers, let me just put it this way. Some people don't know the secret in business. The secret in business is what? Consistency, one, and being, like when I tell you I deliver in 3 to 4 days, before the third day itself, you must have gotten your item. I have an example to give to you. There was this lady that she bought items from me. Let me start from the guy in Onitsha. I told him I will supply in 3 days time. Then the next day he was called. He wasn't expecting any call because I already told him in 3 days time. But in the second day he was called to come and pick up items. So he was confused. Funny enough, I sent him details, but he was thinking they could leave that 3rd day. So I had to call him that his items have arrived. He was like, wow, like seriously? Madam, I thought you told me in 3 days time. I said, yes, I usually give 1 day ahead in case of any unforeseen circumstances, that sometimes I just deliver before that time I told you. So what am I trying to say in essence is that when you tell a customer that you deliver in so duration, so period of time. Make sure some suppliers are faulty of this. So that reliability means that once you should have a supplier that once you tell the person, once the person tells you, okay, madam, I'm going to supply to you, I'm going to deliver this item to you. Maybe you places your order today, the person tells you, you ask the person, when can you deliver this thing? He or she will tell you in maybe next tomorrow, or let's say in 2 to 3 days. In 5 days time, you have not heard anything from this person. A week, you have not heard anything. You call, they might not pick your call. Sometimes you call, they will message for you and pick and tell you, hey, they have sent to the pack, whereas they have not. They will keep giving you excuses, keep giving you, flimsy excuses here and there. And the customer that paid you, that ordered for this thing, will be on your neck. You'll be shouting meh, while the supplier is enjoying. You understand? So you should have a reliable supplier that values customer relationship, that values time, that values consistency, that are in business not just to make money, but also to give value. I hope this helps. The last one is what? Safety. Food safety is a major concern. Some persons are so dirty that in fact, when you go close to where they are making food, you won't even eat that food. And we deal with food. Seafood and food stuff, they are food. So you should know the kind of suppliers you would have that will be able to be, okay, now for instance, once a supplier, okay, let's say you don't know because you are not there, you're not with the supplier. Your supplier is in Sokoto or in Abuja, you're in Enugu or in Onitsha. Okay, you must have sourced and find this customer, and you have selected this customer, and your first purchase from her or from him was bad. You should know that this supplier is not it. Okay, so for instance, there is one supplier I'm going to give to you. This person, no, she's good, she's neat. So anytime she's supplying to me or to any of my customers or to any of my students, like, I'm always so at peace. Just pay money and go and sleep. Not the one that you pay money and your heart will be jumping up and down. So that is it, and this is the end of our training for today. Personal Ventures, thank you, and I will appreciate if you can go